Hello and welcome to this brief presentation about identity theft. My name is Christopher Jones Cruz. I'm at the Learning English branch here at the Voice of America. And this presentation is from the American Federation of Government Employees, Local 1812. It's called Protecting Your Identity, What to Know and What to Do. The key it seems to me, for identity theft is to have a different mindset, which is to make it a habit and a priority, much like brushing your teeth and flossing your teeth, which maybe some of us don't do as much as we should. We'll talk about what you need to be protected from, some of the warning signs of identity theft, and how you can reduce your risk. There are ways to reduce your risk. When we're talking as federal employees about the OPM hack, unfortunately, that horse has left the barn. You know, our identity is and so much of our personally identifiable information is called PII is out there. Somebody's got it. So a lot of what we're going to be talking about is how to minimize the impact. If somebody goes ahead and starts to use that personally identifiable information, how then do we identify it quickly and mitigate any damage that happens? And so we'll talk about just briefly some of the types of identity theft to be concerned about. People will steal your minor child's identity. There was a time in this country where we didn't get our Social Security numbers until we were teenagers, getting our first job. Now people get their Social Security numbers for their children almost immediately after birth. And so as a result, your child has an identity which can be stolen. Unfortunately, so much of that child identity theft happens within families. Your tax identification is often stolen. There's a huge multi-billion-dollar problem within the IRS. Medical ID theft is where somebody steals your identity and gets medical benefits as a result. Seniors get their identification stolen. Social ID theft is when somebody says that they are you online, whether it's on Facebook or on Twitter. We see that a lot. And this, to me, is one of the scarier forms of identity theft. It's called synthetic ID theft. It's when the thieves, the criminals, take portions of different people's identity, different names, different Social Security numbers, different addresses, and create an entirely different person. That, to me, is terrifying. Identity theft happens when someone doesn't just steal your identity, but they steal your personal information and they use it without your permission, generally for nefarious purposes, for money, for medical benefits. It can damage your finances, can damage your credit history, and can damage your reputation in the sense that all of a sudden your name gets out there. You may be charged with a crime when in fact it's not even the crime that you committed, or you committed no crime. There are specific ways to know how your identity was stolen. There are mistakes on your accounts. We probably need to look at our accounts a little bit more thoroughly than perhaps we do. There's an explanation of medical benefits that you may get, and all of a sudden there's treatments there that you've never received. Somebody has rerouted your mail. You all of a sudden don't get your accounts in the mail anymore, your bills in the mail. You start getting calls from debt collectors for debts that aren't your own. Debt collectors hear that all the time. Oh, it's not my debt. Well, in this case, if your identity has been stolen, it truly is not your debt. You get a notice from the IRS, which is never good, and you get calls or email or snail mail about accounts in your minor child's name. There's some really kind of low-tech ways that identity thieves steal your information. They go dumpster diving. It's incredible what you can get. I used to be in the mortgage business, and mortgage regulators would regularly go into the dumpsters in the back of mortgage companies, and this was in North Carolina. These mortgage regulators would go dumpster diving, and they would find entire mortgage files of people. What does a mortgage file have about you? Everything. So that is kind of sort of a low-tech way to get it. They may trick you into revealing information, convince you that they are someone that they are not. They'll just literally steal your wallet or your purse. If you walk around, it's amazing when you walk around this building how many purses you see, whether they're out on the, next to a person's desk, or whether they're on that desk. They'll just steal it, or they'll pretend to offer you a job or a loan or an apartment to get your information. Now, what's missing from this list is the identity thieves who have hacked into the OPM files and have stolen it that way. So that's really what we're talking about.